Hi, my name is Noreen Anne, and I've been a preschool director for over 17 years. With our current Stay at Home and Save Lives initiatives, my heart goes out to all the preschool and little ones that have been missing their preschool classrooms and teachers. So I can't sew masks or make PPE and gear, but I'm doing this, something I haven't done before, but I'm putting together some preschool classes online. So hopefully you can bring your little ones. All the little ones have a seat. And whether you're watching from the West Coast, where my great niece and great nephew are, or by the East Coast, for all the emergency workers and frontline, I want to say thank you for your service. To all the parents just getting home from a long, exhausting day, bring your kids over, have a seat, and enjoy a few moments of togetherness and peace. To all the little ones out there, welcome aboard. Welcome to our first preschool class. My name is Noreen Anne, and I'm a preschool director and author. We're going to begin our preschool session today with story time. So sit up nice and tall, crisscross applesauce. We're going to read a story called I Spy Grandma, written by Noreen Anne. That's me. And it's dedicated to all the grandmas and grandpas out there. And I know many of you haven't been able to see your grandma and grandpa because we've been self-isolating and self-distancing, but know that they love you so much. And maybe you could read this story to them on Facebook or Skyping, or there's other ways that we can communicate. So let's get started. And this is dedicated to all the grandmas and grandpas and all of the loved ones that might be feeling isolated today. We appreciate you and we're thinking of you. And you're welcome to join our story time too. So this is a story about a little girl named Rosa. And she was 5 years old and adopted, and she's spending time with her new grandma. And one day Rosa asked her grandma, "Can you play a game with me?" Grandma responded, "Sure, I have the perfect game. It's called I Spy with my little eyes, something that begins with an A. We'll find a word that begins with each letter in English and in Spanish. Let's get started. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with a. Raise your hand. What's that word? Apple. Apple. Manzana. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with a B. B for balloons. Balloons, globos, globos. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with raise your hand. C for cat, very good. Gato, gato. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with a, what's that letter? Da, 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 da. Find the dog. D for dog, perro. And Rosa's bringing him to the party. She invited her dog. He has a broken leg to the party. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with the letter. I can't hear you. A little louder. E, elephant. Elefante. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with, what's that letter? Frog. Frog. Where do you see frogs? Sometimes in the water in a pond. I spy with my little eyes. What comes next? G. Game. Juego. They're playing a chess game with Grandma. Raise your hand if you've ever played chess or checkers before. I love that game. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with a, what letter's this? H. They have some sombreros, some hats. I spy with my little eyes. What comes next? Raise your hand. I for igloo. Igloo, ice and igloo. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with the letter J. jam, jarro, taro, jar, jelly. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with what comes next. Raise your hand. You know this. What comes after J? K. K for kite. Kite. Cometa. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with what comes after K? I know you know this. K. Owl for lion. Leon. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with the letter M for leche. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with an for nest. And Noreen and name. What's your name? I spy with my little eyes something that begins with what comes after N. I know you know this. I know you know this animal too. The octopus. Octopus. Polpo. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with, raise your hand if you know what comes next. LMNOP. P for pig. El cerdo. Pink pig. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with a Q. Quilt. Quilt. I spy 2 quilts. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with a Q. And maybe you and Grandma can make a quilt. These are just some things you can do with Grandma or a loved one. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with a r. What's that animal? A rabbit. A rabbit. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with an S. Sun. Sun. I spy, read it together. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with a t. And what's that a picture of? A train. Maybe some of you have taken a trip with your grandma on a train. They look like they're going to the big city. Raise your hand if you've gone on a trip with your grandma or grandpa or a loved one on the train. With my little eyes, something that begins with a, you use this when it's raining. You don't want to be without it. An umbrella. An umbrella. Veriguas. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with what comes next after you. Ooh, V. Big V and little v. Violet. Violetta. And they're on their way to church and they see some violets. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with, who can tell me what comes after a V? Raise your hand. If you can't remember after V, you could do the little song, LMNOPQRSTUV, W. Who said W? I spy with my little eyes something that begins with the whale, W. I spy with my little eyes, and their grandma's reading their story about whales. So reading is a wonderful thing with your grandma or grandpa or any loved one. And your preschool class too. So we don't want to forget about reading. It is so good. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with the X for X-ray. X for X-ray. And this whale is getting a little X-ray. I spy with my little eyes something that begins with the letter Y. What does Rosa have? She has her yo-yo. Raise your hand if you have a yo-yo. It is so much fun. I used to love my yo-yo when I was little. I spy with my list something that begins with a Z for zipper. And they're zippering up all the toys before she goes to bed. Cleaning up and zippering away all of her toys. I spy with my little eyes something. Oh, they look like they're exhausted. Grandma, I love that game. Can we play again? Rosa asked. Oh, I'm a little bit tired, but how about if we play again tomorrow? Grandma said. Rosa smiled and replied, I can't wait till tomorrow. I know so many more words. The end. There's a few challenge activities on here too. If you've got the book, you can do them. And I'm going to be putting this up on my website too. This is the illustrations. So I'm going to be getting this up on my website. You'll be able to pull it down for free. And you and Grandma, or you and your little brother or sister or little ones can cut these out, make 2 copies, and cut them out and play the matching game. These are all the illustrations from the book. And you can find the matches, turn them all over like this after you cut them out, and then turn them over and find the matches. And you can even review each of the words in English and in Spanish. And for those advanced learners, if you want to even write them down, how to spell it, get some extra points for spelling. That would be terrific. Sound it out, those beginning sounds. And we're going to review right now. So come with me. We're going to review the letters, all of those ABCs. And we'll do a little writing activity after that. But right now, we are going to move over to review all of those letters. So I'm going to put this on pause a little bit. Let's see who remembers the alphabet. I want to hear everyone sing along. A, B, C, D, E, F. What comes next? G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Everybody. Q, R, S. I can't hear you. T, U, V. Everybody. W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Won't you sing along with